Hello everyone. So so sorry for the long wait. Actually, my streaming software is not particularly working, so that's why it is taking some time to set it up again. So this is day 32, and we are into the topic of log analysis using Splunk. So in this session, we are going to completely hands-on with Splunk using a real lab environment from TryHackMe. So what basically TryHackMe is like a lab type format in which you can access some rooms and you can practice those real incidents in a lab environment. So in try hack me, the Splunk scenario is given. So you can basically try your hands on in the Splunk and then can use for learning purpose. Okay. So that's why I'm picking up this is try hack me room. So you already know like what Splunk is and what is SIEM. We already discussed in our previous videos. So if you haven't watched this series before, so you can check it out, this playlist. We already covered everything, every particular topic like the SOC structure, cybersecurity basics, networking basics, net IP addressing, Linux operating system, Windows operating system basics, logs, Windows logs, Linux logs, SIM. So this particular video you need to watch day 14, then day 15, day 16, day 18, 19, and so on, right? So today we are going to discuss about the log analysis. But before I'm going to start this stream. So very welcome all of you again. My name is Sumit. I'm your host in this stream and we are talking about an extremely important topic today, which is log analysis using a real or you can say like in lab environment. So in this lab, in this live session, we will explore the Splunk interface, understand the indexes or data sources, run some SPL queries, or we will analyze logs like a SOC analyst and answer the questions in the try hack me room together. So this is exactly how you should approach if you are preparing for SOC analyst L1 role, not just theory, but real log analysis in a simulated environment. Okay, so if you are following along, open your try hack me account, search for the room Splunk basic, and feel free to attempt the task along with me, or you can still watch it and do it later. So by the end of today's session, you will be much more confident navigating Splunk and writing your own SPL queries. So grab your coffee, get your lab ready, and let's dive into our first hands-on Splunk investigation. So as this particular glitch up came up, so that's why not much people are available here. So I'm still waiting for you guys to join. So without further wasting our time, let's start. So first, uh, tell me in the comments if you are watching it live or my voice is audible or you are seeing the screen. Is it shared? You are seeing the Firefox browser. So is it shared? Okay. So see, this is the try-hack-me environment. So for practice this thing, you can create a free account on the try-hack-me. I also created a free account on the try-hack-me, and after that what you can do, you will have to go to search the SIEM. So when you type SIEM here, you will see three rooms. One is introduction to SIEM, the second one is log analysis with SIEM, and the third one is Splunk basics. Did you know SIEM? So we are going to pick this, the third one, in today's session, because I want to investigate some real incident. And then, because we are already late, so we will cover this log analysis in our next session. So click on the this particular room, and it will open in a new tab, and after that your room will be available. This room is a medium level room, and the time given by THM is 60 minutes, like almost 1 hour. And currently 60,000 plus people are joining this room or using this room. You can now, if you want to access it, you have to join the room. So once you join the room, the interface will particularly appeared here. There are two videos given for this room, video 1 or video 2. You can watch it, but you do not need to watch it. I'm going to cover it up. So this is the task 1, which is introduction. So like what is happened, or basically a scenario is given. So if you read it out, so it's almost Christmas in particular place, and the team of best festival company, this is the company name, is busy preparing for the big celebration. Everything is running smoothly until the SOC dashboard flashes red, like multiple alerts will be created. A random message suddenly appears, and what will be the message? This message: attacks 1,000 Hopsec coins for Max Kiddy or SOC Macans tonight. So when the message came from the King Malhare, the jealous ruler of Hopsec Island, who tried to off Easter. So basically, they are basically giving up a Christmas vibe. So he sent his bandits, and then. So what particularly we need to do? We need to ingest and intercept custom log data into Splunk. We have to put some data into the Splunk. Then we have to create and apply some custom fields. And then we need to use the SPL, which is search processing language, to filter and refine search result. And then we have to conduct the investigation using or within Splunk to uncover some important things. So before we have to move forward, we have to connect the machine. So how you will connect the machine? There is a set up your virtual environment section, and then you have to start the machine. So when you start the machine, you can acknowledge it, and as soon as you will start the machine, you will see a virtual link appeared here. See this link: 10 hyphen 48 hyphen 142 hyphen 222 dot reverse hyphen proxy dot sal hyphen prod hyphen ap hyphen south hyphen something like this. So you need to wait at least for 1 or 2 minutes, so that it will be working smoothly. Otherwise you can click up and it will open in a new tab. So this is your Splunk virtual environment, where you will have to perform everything. And if you scroll it down, then your task 2 is, like, first task is to create a virtual environment. So that is done, and now you can check it. So your leveling up is done. And now what you can do, you can particularly go to the task 2. So when you see in the task 2, there is some theory written, like particularly everything, and then these all or the question. So we have, I think, 5 or 6 questions here, like what is the attacker IP found attacking and compromising the server. So basically you have a log, and on the log or analyzing the log, you need to find out like which IP, which attacker's IP. Basically you need to find out the attacker's IP that is used to attack and compromising the web server. Then you need to find out the day was the peak traffic in the logs. Then you need to count the user agent events in the logs, basically for the SQL injection attack. And then how many path traversal attempts. And then in the firewall log, you need to see how many bytes were transferred to the compromised server IP from the, like, on the C2 server, from the compromised web server. Okay, so these are the 5 questions. But before solving these 5 questions, let's first see if our lab is opened. So as I said, you need to wait 2 or 3 minutes. So then this particularly Splunk lab will be opened smoothly. Otherwise, if you will see 502 like bad gateway, so you can refresh it until your Splunk will be opened. Just like you are seeing here in my system. Okay, so let's wait for 1 or 2 minutes until this opens perfectly, and then we can move with the very first query. So it is now setting up, take 1 or 2 minutes. Okay, it is now loading, and this is the Splunk environment. This is that's how the Splunk is look like. The only reason I am picking the Try Hack Me lab is like Splunk is a commercial software. So you will not get the Splunk version or Splunk Enterprise in free. Of course, they are particularly giving you some demo trials, but that are not enough. And you need some real log data as well for your analysis purpose. So that's why practicing on THM or the try or sorry the hack the box or try hack me will particularly give you the real insights or the real scenarios, and you will get the idea like what is or how to perform or how to analyze those attacks. Okay, so that's how the structure is there. Now there are these apps which is search and reporting, then Splunk Essential for Cloud Enterprise, Splunk Secure Gateway, and more. And this is the queries, like you can add some data in it, the Splunk apps and Splunk docs. Here are some messages, some settings, activities, help, and search field. You can close this section is also like something like this. So whenever you have a Splunk environment or a Splunk SIEM set up in your organization, so first you need to collect log, and the log collection or how to particularly add the logs or basically bind the log sources to the SIEM tool, we already discussed it. But if you have some log file and want to add into the Splunk, you can add it from here. So when you click on add, then you can add a data source. So whatever logs will be created, it will automatically transmitted into the Splunk, and then you can analyze it. Okay, so see, that's how it is asking me like what data do you want to send to the Splunk platform. So now you have to particularly configure it with your log sources. Like you can upload some files, you can monitor it, or you can forward. There are some operating system, networking, cloud computing. So there are multiple things which you can uh, provide as a data source to the Splunk platform. But this is a lab environment. So in the lab environment, there are already some data available. There are already some logs available which you need to analyze. So you need to click on the search and reporting. You need to click on the search and reporting. So once you click on the search and reporting, now this particular panel is open up. Here your logs are available. How you will find it? You will see some functionalities like search, analytics, data sets, reports, alert, or dashboard. Suppose if I click on analytics, then it will say like you want to analyze the data, but I think it will ask, okay, it is not asking me to select or like see require license feature, because the Splunk platform I'm using of the try hack me, so this is not licensed, so that's why I'm getting this error. So go back to the search. Now the very first thing you will need to do is see here like how you will explore the logs. So go to the reporting, and then when your search page appears, you can type a query called index equals to main. Let me show you once the page appears. Yeah, so index equals to main, and then this means you are basically want to search all the sources, all the logs that you have in the Splunk. And then when you hit enter, so there is a time given. See here, there is a time given. So you want to see the logs for last 24 hours, then this is selected. But when you click it, you will see the time, like the real time data, the relative data, or the last 15 minutes, 16 minutes, or 30 days. So if you want to see all data, then you can click on all time. So whatever data we have in the Splunk platform will appear here. Now, when you see here, like how many events we have? We have 18,744 events before 22 December 2025, from today or before today, like whatever data we have 1800,000 744, right? So now if you see here, this is all the logs, and now you will see some selected fields like the host. So the host is like lab data. The count is 18,744. The sources is two types of sources, like two types of file is given. One is access.csv that has 17,000 particularly events, and in the firewall.json that has around 1500 logs, 1500 values or 1500 events. And if you see in the source type, there are two types of sources, which is web traffic. That means all type of logs you are seeing it here, that basically belongs to the web traffic and the firewall logs. So basically in this ex example, you will see two types of logs. Basically two sources are selected. One is from web traffic, the second one is from firewall logs. Okay, now if you see here, if you scroll it down, like this is all the events, this is all the events, 18,000, but these are the some are filters. So if you see here, client IPs, date, hour, date, mday, month, minutes, right, year, then size, referrer, path, right? So user agent. So what it is means actually, like in all the 18,000 results, how many IPs are there? So from this IP, see 198.51.100.55, we have 7,000 plus events, almost 45% of your all logs. Then we have these IPs. And if you are noticing it, like these all IPs, apart from the first one, these all IPs are private IPs. That means the internal system, right? But this IP belongs to public, that means some external system. So the connections are made using an external system, and that might be the attacker's IP. We don't know it actually yet, but let me see. And the user agent, so how many user agents are used to create these merge logs? So you can click it here and you can see all the user agents from Mozilla, from curl, from Python, and so on and so on, right? So if you see it here, like Mozilla from iPhone OS, Mozilla from Windows, Mozilla from Intel Mac OS, but these some more user agents are available also. Similarly, if you click on the path, so what type of application or what type of path is being accessed? So total number of paths are there because we have the logs from web traffic. So someone is trying to access the index.html, the root page, the blog page, the contact, the search queries, and then this particular file, and also running this particular query. How many times? So you will see the count number also. Okay, so now if you see it here, we will particularly seeing all 18,000 results, 18,000 event particularly, that comes from web traffic and firewall logs. Two types of source type is given in this uh, example, in this demo basically. Okay, web traffic and firewall logs, but that doesn't matter. Sometimes it will be your cloud server logs, web server logs, Windows logs, Linux logs. That doesn't make any difference. Whatever logs you have to analyze it. So how you will analyze it? So now let's move to the next section. So see, here are two types of data sets are follows, which is web traffic and firewall logs. This data source contains event related to the web connections to and from the web server. Like someone is trying to connect with the web server, or web server is trying to connect with the client. So you are seeing both types of logs in this data set. This is the firewall logs. So this data source contains all the firewall logs showing the traffic allowed, traffic blocked. The local IP assigned to the server is this, because we are seeing it. Now, first, if you want to run a initial query, so want to filter it in all those logs, like this is the combination of web and firewall. So if you want to filter with the only, or you want to see only web logs or only firewall logs. So you can use this particular query, which is index equals to main, then source type web traffic. Whatever your source type, you can provide it. So I'm providing it like source type, source type, and then equals to, which is web traffic. Okay, and when you hit enter, you will see all the 17,172 results will be appeared. You are getting my point? Tell me in the comments if you are getting my point. And because of we are not we basically start this stream very late, so the second stream for today will be cancelled. We will be seeing the third stream for the today, which is Kali Linux. So we are going to cover it at 9 p.m. But the second stream, like the bug bounty day 6, will be rescheduled to tomorrow. Okay, that's the information. I changed the date. Okay, so see, now that's the very first query. Now if you move with the lab, so this is the initial tries, we can search this query, and here we are seeing everything related to the web traffic. So the fields are there, the interesting fields. This is all the data one by one, right? And this is the queries, or this is the whole events, the time, right? And you can also filter with the time also, like you want to see the all time queries, or particularly date, last hour, 15 minutes, 16 minutes, last 7 days, or 24 hours, whatever you want, you can filter it out. See here in the image, if you see, they particularly provide marking on each field. So the very first field is known as like the filter, the second is for time, third is showing the graph. So you see there are graph like on what particular day or date you are seeing most of the events. So if you see it here, like on October 12, we are having 2267 events on that day, the highest among all of them, right? So the graph is there. The fourth number is the selective fields, like particularly your host, your source type, and your source, like from what source you are seeing that data is coming from. And then the 5 is interesting field, and the 6th number is particularly, if you see it here, like if you click on particular logs, like see, so you will see all the event actions, like the host, source, client IP, domain, method, path, referrer, size, everything. So the detailed information about that log. Okay, if you drop it down, so now if you see it here, let's break down all the 6 things. So which is, the very first is search query, the second one is time range, the third one is timeline, then the selected fields or interesting fields or event details or field extraction. So these all are the interesting, or you can say like the important fields we have in the Splunk. Okay, that's how it is written here. So start a basic search like in the index using your custom source type using the following query. Now, first we need to visualize the log timeline. So now see, if you are able to see, or if you are able to have, or if you are able to attach the log sources in the SIEM tool, now according to your need, according to your attack, you can craft your SPL query, like the search processing queries, and then you can check out or find out the suspicious activity. So now particularly in all of the other queries, you will see different type of queries for different information, right? So the very first query we have is visualizing the log timeline. So for that you will have this query, so you can basically filter it out in all those events to the logs timeline. So you can add a particular query like time chart, then span, 1 day count. So this particular query grouped by the day, like span one day, to determine the number of events captured per day. So you want to see like how many events are captured per day on per day basis. So you can use this query. So I'm going to copy this query, and then if I put it here, so let's search it. So we are seeing the date wise, like the per day, how many queries we have. So on October 1, we have 595. On October 2, we have 479. On October 3, we have 521. On October 10, we have 2022, 2012. And then on October 14, we have 1755, right? If you want to see this particular date, right, or want to see in the graph format, so click on the visualization and it will particularly appeared in the graph format. So if you see it here on October 12, we got 2267 events, or like this much events are captured on that day. Now, if you want to see it in the reverse format, so you can use or add this particular query one more time in your query. So if you see in the reverse format, so see it here now, go to the statics. So this will particularly showing you the logs from top to bottom, like whatever day you having the most of the logs will appear in the upper side of the thing, and then the lowest one in the bottom side, right? So this particular query, reverse query, this function can at the end to display the result in descending order, showing the day with the maximum number of event at the beginning. Okay, so this is the maximum number date is 12 10 2000 12 October 2025. We captured 22 events that day. Okay, now if you see it here, like the anomaly detection, so what it means I'm going to show you, but first let's see the very first question. So the very first question we have is this: what is the attacker's IP found and compromising the web server? What is the attacker's IP found attacking and compromising the web server? So you have to analyze the log and see the IPs. So you have to check out all the IPs. So for all the IPs, when you see it here, like in the web traffic, we have a particular client IP, and in the client IP you will see it here 198